Hello everybody, it's Crash coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. This video is gonna be a guide on no one else but Fahrakin the Fat, guys. Honestly, I think is the best ally attack champion in the game when we're talking about clan boss. If you're early game, mid game, even towards end game, he's just amazing. His kit brings so much to the game, honestly. So Fahrakin the Fat, guys, for whoever is not familiar, is an attack spirit epic champion from the Barbarians. He looks pretty badass. Like, I'm not sure exactly what he's meant to be. He has a huge belly with a weird tattoo and a belly button that you can't even see. But he does look pretty dope. His kit is amazing though. So let's have a quick look at the skills. We have his A1 Sizzling Strike. Attacks one enemy. Has a 50% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. That's fully booked, so he requires 4 books here. Then his A2 on 3 turn cooldown, fully booked. Brand of Shame attacks one enemy, has a 100% chance of placing a HP burn debuff and 2 5% poison debuffs for 2 turns. So we need here 6 more books, so that's 11 books in total so far. Definitely worth it. Like, talking about books, I know some of the champions require insane books, but this champion is one of those exceptions that actually is worth it to be booked, to be brought to that full potential that he can offer for your team. He's a A3 beat down on 4 turn cooldown, fully booked. 2 more books here, so that's 13 books in total, I think. Places a 30% increased crit rate buff and a 30% increased crit damage buff on all allies except this champion for 3 turns. Then all allies except this champion will attack one target enemy. So the buffs are up for 3 turns, crit rate, crit damage, and ally attack, right? So that's amazing. If you're early on, mid game, even in the end game, a lot of you guys don't have the ultimate top tier gear. You're struggling to get your crit rate up, you're struggling to get a lot of crit damage. This champion can kind of solve that problem for you. Buffing all this for 3 turns is actually amazing for clan boss. And not just clan boss, for arena as well, dungeons as well if you're struggling in any place in the game. And for arena, it offers you a different opportunity when you're building a blender comp to actually cut the crit rate, focus more attack, more crit damage, and make them literally destroy the enemy team. Of course, if you are building champions like that, probably he needs to be part of the team all the time, okay? I wouldn't honestly build a blender comp or any sort of a team with 70 crit rate and then rely on somebody else, especially when we're talking about arena, because that kind of blocks those champions to be used in that specific team, and I won't really be able to use them somewhere else without comboing them with this champion, for example. So if I want to use them in faction wars like a Sinesha, Skull Crown, and they won't have full crit rate, it's not going to be that great, right? So if you're early mid game, he's going to help you with that a lot, but then you're getting the crit damage as well and the ally attack, which will be great. So we'll be trying him in a Bad Eater comp, guys. 2 Man Eaters, Seeker and Painkeeper, and we're gonna see if we can actually 1-key Ultra Nightmare with him in the team instead of Draco. Then we're gonna try a couple of runs in dungeons and arena in a blender comp, see how he performs there. But we didn't have a look at his passive just yet, so that's Body Block, deflects 20% of all incoming damage this champion receives onto all allies. The damage will be spread equally across all allies. So because of this, 20% damage can be quite a lot when we're talking about clan boss. The higher you rank up in turns, the higher the damage. So it might not be the best option for a high defense team, but for unkillables, he's definitely the #1 ally attack champion. Just for the simple fact that with the ally attack, he buffs crit rate and crit damage. If I remember it right, Krayla, she does it with a different skill, and then with a different skill has the ally attack and she attacks, but first she actually needs to buff and get another turn and then use the ally attack. But then this champion has poisons, has defense down, has HP burn, increased crit rate, increased crit damage, and ally attack. Like, Jesus, how many things this guy can do. Insane. So let's have a quick look at the base stats, then we're going to talk about the build, masteries, and the rest of the stuff. So we have him 14.5k HP, 1.2k attack, almost 1100 defense, which is pretty strong for an attack champion. 100 speed, basic crit rate, 60 crit damage, 30 resistance, 0 accuracy. Total stats on him, we have a 31k HP, 3.6k attack, 2.1k defense, 220 speed, a bit on overkill on a crit rate there. We have 112, 257 crit damage, 245 accuracy, which is more than enough for Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. A Relentless set and a Speed set, so this is actually the gear I got from Draco. Probably I changed like a couple of things, but rather than that, it's coming from Draco. So we have the weapon right here, we have the helmet, we have the shield, gauntlet, chest piece, boots, that's the ring right here, attack ring, crit damage amulet, and we have accuracy banner to make sure we're landing those debuffs. Masteries. Now, probably some of you might be debating why I haven't went on the defense tree for him. He gets counter attack, he might have an extra chance of landing that defense down. Because his chance of landing defense down on his A1 is only 50%, I found it like a necessity to actually increase it with a sniper and then try to extend it with Master Hexer, extend those poisons, extend the HP burn, so we actually ramp up more damage over time. So we have offense and support, we have Deadly Precision, we have Grim Resolve, we have a Keen Strike, Life Drinker, Single Out, Wrath of the Slain, Bring It Down, Methodical, and as tier 6 we have War Master to deal more damage on that clan boss, Pinpoint Accuracy, Charge Focus, Swarms Meter, Cycle of Magic, 5% extra chance to decrease the cooldown of a random skill. Hell yeah, I'll take it. More ally attacks, more poisons, more HP burn. Let's get them. And how I said, Sniper and Master Hexer. Champion is fully booked, no doubt. I strongly recommend you, if you have him, you want to use him, book him. You will have zero regrets. Trust me when I'm telling you that. So that's how the champion looks like. Before we move over into it, let me explain you how the team will run. So you've seen I made a few different videos on Bad Eater comps. I made the very first one when Painkeeper was not using Retribution Masteries. Then I made a different one with Feign, where I've told you can run Painkeeper on Retribution Masteries, okay? So let's start with the fastest champion in the game, okay? So pay attention to the speeds here now, in the game, I mean in my team, sorry. Pay attention to the speeds. So we have the first Man-Eater, okay? There he is. He is on 265 speed. 264 does not work. It can go a bit up than 265, but 264 is not working anymore. From what I've tried before, was not working. So that's what we have on him. Masteries are exactly the same, more or less. We have the defense 3 rather than support. Second Man-Eater, same masteries again. And his speed is 246. 247 can work without a problem. I haven't tried 245, but I have a feeling it might take you down a bit, so you don't want to go less than that. Then we have Seeker. So Seeker is actually the second fastest champion in the team. We have him on speed sets here. The speed he has is 251. Now here is the place where you kind of have to pay attention. So 252 works. 253, I think it already took you out of equation and puts you into a higher threshold, and that will not work anymore. 251, 252, 250, 249. These are the stats we have on him. So the speeds you can run, I've just told you before. 249, 250, 251, 252, okay? Then we're going to Painkeeper, okay? So because we have ally attack, we cannot run Retribution Masteries anymore, okay? So Seeker, by the way, he has the exact same masteries like the Man-Eaters. We have Painkeeper on a Toxic set, just to bump up a bit the damage more. Total stats and speed 239. Now, here is the thing when you gotta pay attention. She needs to be minimum 10 speed lower than Seeker, and that's at a minimum. It won't work with 9, it won't work with 8, it needs to be a minimum of 10 speed, okay? So if you have your Painkeeper at 240, Seeker needs to be at 250. If you have her at 241, Seeker needs to be at 251, 252. But definitely it needs to be a 10 speed difference in between them, okay? So then we have, where is he? Where is he? Where is the insane fairy boy? Where we passed him. There we go. So Fahrakin, he has 220 speed. 219, 221 works fine on him as well. So I'll repeat you the speeds again. Maneater 265, Seeker 250. I think I have him on 251 actually. The second Maneater 246, 247 works fine. Painkeeper 239 and Fahrakin 220, okay? So this team will work on Ultra Nightmare, on Brutal, on every other clan boss. You will be able to one key everything, okay? Following the very same rotation. Now I tried running Painkeeper with Retribution. I've done 2 keys already. The first key failed around turn 35. At that moment I had a Painkeeper on Retribution Masteries, so with the counter-attack masteries, and that kind of threw the team out of sync around the turn 35, I think. So I had to change those masteries. So right now on Painkeeper we only have masteries on the offense tree, nothing on support, nothing on defense. We literally just got War Master on her and we haven't used the rest of the scrolls, okay? So let me show you how this will work. A lot of you guys are already familiar with this comp, but for whoever is not familiar with this comp, let me just walk you through it. So doesn't matter if it's Ultra Nightmare, Nightmare, Brutal, Hard, Normal, Easy, Minus Easy, and so goes on. The way you start the rotation of this team is very simple. Unkillable on the first Maneater. Boost with the Seeker. Do your thing here. A2 or A1 on this Maneater. A3 on Painkeeper. She needs to reset the cooldown here. So A3 here. Oro and let it flow. That's the same exact way you started on every single clan boss. Now, if by any chance this team fails for you on a Brutal, on a Nightmare, the reason for it will be because Painkeeper, she has too much HP, okay? So if she has too much HP, she doesn't take enough damage, so her AI won't use the A2 on the first turn, okay? First turn being the second turn practically. Turn 0 and turn 1, okay? So on turn 1, she won't be using her A2. So that will throw off sync all the rotation of her skills. Rather than her using the A2 then, she will use it the turn afterwards. And then nothing will be on point anymore. So if that happens, drop the HP. If you can drop the HP, manual an extra turn, and on the second turn, use her A2. Second turn being turn 1. I don't know why Plarium changed turn 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because it got confusing AF when we're explaining you turns. We're starting on turn 0, then we're saying turn 1, turn 2, and everything gets messed up. But yeah, turn 0, turn 1. Turn 1, you gotta manual an extra turn, okay? To be more specific about it. So that's how the team goes on, guys. We're ramping quite a bit of damage slowly. It doesn't look like a lot of damage already because they gotta get into the flow, start landing a lot of poisons, a lot of ally attacks. Relentless on him works fine, nothing to worry about. You cannot put Relentless on any other champion. I'm not gonna go through all the run, guys. We're gonna jump straight at the end. And here we are, turn 49. We are on 69 million damage. Barely making it, but we are making it. That's the main thing. So, being able to one key with him in a team like this, I think is absolutely brilliant. Even though it's kind of at the limit, it's not like we're going like 5, 6, 10 million on top of it. Is still a great damage. So we have 71.3 million damage, almost 1 million on top of what we need to one key Ultra Nightmare. We have a Fahrakin with 20.7 million damage, Maneaters with 12.3, 11, Painkeeper with 11.7, and Seeker with 15.4 million damage. There we go, one key Ultra Nightmare with Fahrakin the Fat in a Barrier comp without having to worry about the Painkeeper's A1 regarding boosting the thermometer or anything like that. Right, so 4 hours later, we finished regearing the arena team and we made a blender comp with the Fairy Boy. So let's have a quick look how he looks like now. I haven't really changed a lot of stuff on him, honestly. Nothing too crazy on him, literally just speed. I just want to make sure the enemy team doesn't cut on me, so I have him on 198 speed. A bit of a HP, attack, defense, 61 crit rate, 162 crit damage, nothing on accuracy and resistance, so I'm not relying on him to actually debuff with his A1, with his A2, because Most probably, if I'm running a blender, I am running it with the single purpose of don't allowing the enemy team to do anything, right? I just want to obliterate the team and move over to the next one and just farm faster, and that's about it, you know? So, we're using Sinesha and Skull Crown. At the moment, I have my Sinesha on a stun set. I kind of re-geared her a bit to drop the crit rate, get a bit of more attack and crit damage on it. I am using her for a faction war, so she's not really built for a blender comp, but that's what stats we have on her at the moment. 3.3k attack, 247 crit damage. Masteries are still for a stun set, because how I said, she's faction wars champion for me. I'm not running blender comps usually. In the current meta, Platinum is kind of hard to actually run blenders. Plus my own team when I'm farming is like 3-4 seconds. So now that they fixed Madame's AI, I don't really see necessarily a point of running a blender for myself. For some of you guys, you might need to, because you don't have better champions, and it's kind of fun honestly to run around with a blender. So those are the stats on a Sinesha. And then we have our Skull Crown. So she has attack boots rather than speed boots. Savage and Cruel set. Total stats 6.1k attack, 114 speed, 90 crit rate, 247 crit damage. So once he buffs, I'm gonna be getting 30 more crit rate, so I'm gonna cover 200% and 30 more crit damage. So she's gonna be on 277 crit damage with the buff that he gives us, and Sinesha is gonna be on 277 as well. How did I match that? That must be some sort of voodoo magic. Kind of. Right, so they're gonna be both on 277 crit damage, and they're gonna have full crit rate because of him. At the moment, you see, they are missing crit rate. Right, let's do a couple of runs in arena with him and see what they're capable of all together as a team. We cannot really hit teams with Torments because we're gonna freeze. Hegemons, again, they're off list, so we can go on some teams like this. This kind of looks like a newbie team, this one as well. Still, that's not the main idea. They can do damage, that's fine. But we don't really want to attack like only 100k team power, right? We don't want to terrorize the newbies. Buff the crit rate, crit damage, attack. He's targeting the lead champion. So for example, if would be to don't use AoE attacks, they're gonna attack the lead champion, okay? So that's how it's gonna work. Let's see what other teams we have here. Another newbie team. And another newbie list. This one. Okay, this one looks better. So you just wanna ensure you don't get cut off by the enemy team. That's why you gotta be careful with the speed you give them. You can run him as the... If you're not running a blender comp, for example. So he's not a necessity for blender comp. He can buff the crit rate and crit damage on all your champions, right? Like on your other nuker, if you're struggling with a Trunda, Foley, or God knows what champions you're using as a nuker. Kale, for example, if you're early on, you're struggling to give him full crit rate, good crit damage, good attack, good speed. He can help you with that crit rate and crit damage. So either you're running a double Termiter booster, either you're running a buff stripper like a Madame Series, a Setalia, or anything like that. You can make the buff stripper go second, you can make him go third, buff before the nuker goes, and bang, you eliminate the enemy team, right? It's not a necessity to make a blender comp with him. But if would be to throw them in a blender, is kind of for early mid-game progression arena-wise. For the simple fact that Longbeard, he is much better than him. Two things that he does differently: he attacks as well, and then he does give you 20% more damage, okay? So when you're in the end game and you're still running blenders, you already have most probably the gear to build your champions properly, to give them enough crit rate, crit damage, attack. So then he's kind of gonna be off list for you for arena, and you can use a Longbeard if you have him. You can use probably a Krela. She deals solid damage as well with her A2. So I think she's a better option. But then you don't get any buffs, okay? So if you're struggling crit rate, crit damage, he's the man for you to go with for arena. Let's give it a go on this team as well. To use blender, it is pretty fun though. I'm not a huge fan, honestly, for the simple fact that in the current meta in Platinum Arena, it's kind of hard to run blenders. You have swift sets, thick shields, hegemons everywhere, Tormins everywhere. So it's not as easy. Probably if you're going against Valkyries that are well speed tuned and stuff in the team, getting so many buffs on your team is kind of gonna screw you over there. That's another thing to keep in mind if you're going against Valkyries. So let's go against this team as well, and we're gonna call it here. I will have to quickly change a bit of gear on him to give him some accuracy so we can take him in the Dragon and the Fire Knight. That's what I really want to try him. So yeah, that's how Blender comp works, guys. He's not doing much work, buffing, and the rest of the team kills the enemy team. Right, so we changed the build on him again. Honestly, I only focus to get some accuracy on him, get the right amount of speed that I need to throw him in my team, and try to give him some crit rate. And the rest of the stats are not crazy, so those are the stats right here. I haven't touched the masteries at all. So 1 accuracy, 1 speed, 1 broken set, total stats. Let me drop them on the screen again. 219 speed, almost full crit rate, 237 crit damage, 261 accuracy, 2k defense, 29k HP, right? So he's gonna be targeted for sure on the Dragon. We do want to see how he performs there, if he's able to actually land those poisons, defense down, HP burn. Even though he's weak affinity, he should be more than fine. Before we go into the Dragon, we're gonna jump in the Fire Knight first and see how much he can actually help there with the ally attack. So probably we should be taking out maybe Lysandra, right? And see how it goes like that. So there's no point to use an aura here. It's not gonna count. So the reason I gave him that speed, I want Draco to go in front of everybody. Then I want the ally attacks to go when I have defense down and weaken to help clear the waves faster, okay? So that's the reason why I made him at that speed. And there we go. Because like that, they will be pumping up more damage. Okay. Let's see, is that arrow gonna kill anybody here? He always does. Oh no! We get saved by him. Nice. That was actually a nice touch there. He can hit pretty good as well, so he can deal some amount of damage. Even though I haven't changed masteries for on a damage build, for example, to give him a ham smasher or anything like that. The reason for it is because I'm not planning to use him like that, and probably you're not planning to use him like that, okay? So I literally just took it slow on a decent build to say like this, but I haven't touched the masteries again from the clan boss. So there we go, 55 seconds with Fahrakin the Fat, Cold Hearts, Ethos, and Dracomorph. Right, let's have a look what champions we can use with him in the team for the Dragon, right? So we don't want a Royal Guard, we do not want a Draco, we do not want a Seer either here. So let's just put him in there. Let's get a Tyrell maybe. And what else should we get? Should we get maybe a Stag Knight instead, actually, just so we have that attack down on the waves as well. If not, we might be getting a bit in trouble there. So Stag Knight there. Where is my KL? Let me find my KL. Come on, wherever you are. And where is he hiding? Here. I don't think I have enough accuracy on him. Let's see. No, I don't have enough accuracy, so that will require me to bring in a Cursard as well, which is fine. He should be in the vault, I think. Come on, game, stop lagging there on me. Okay. And I think she's missing a chest piece at the moment. That's fine. She still has decent stats, so we should be able to go in like this, right? Let's see. So we only have poisons from Kale here. We don't have any champions that does enemy max HP damage, so it's gonna be pretty rough. Let's see how much he can actually help. My main thing is on the actual boss, you know. 41k hit there from him. How I said, he's not on a crazy damage build or anything like that. Can we pass from the second wave with this team? Okay, that came in wrong here. I kind of hope that we were gonna have that for the second wave once we get there. That decrease attack would have been good. Okay, so ally attack. We went for Tyrell there. Okay, and now Hordins, they're gonna start clapping. They're going for him. So his passive actually, that 20% damage, it got distributed equally, so we barely took any damage actually from the passive there. I was expecting to actually get a bit more damage than that. We're gonna see once we get at the boss how is that gonna change, because we haven't really paid attention to that, right? If it's gonna be dangerous to run him in a team like this, you know. So we got HP burn, 2 poisons from him. Let's go. I like it. Okay, so can we get an ally attack here? Not just yet, but it's coming. Probably if you want to build him around the same speeds like I build him and stuff, definitely a Relentless set can work amazing for him. Relentless, even a Reflex set, more ally attacks, more poisons. Help you a bit more, you know. Okay. Seems like we're pretty good though. We got those poisons up there. Kale gets the increased accuracy as well, so we're definitely landing the poisons. Decreased defense. Awesome. 22k hitter. Nothing too crazy, which is fine. Ally attack. Okay. We got some poisons in there. Just on his own, I don't think he's gonna be able to keep it up with the poison bar. Just to take the boss out of the secret skill, but pair with a Kale, a Frozen Bench or something like that, they should be more than fine though. So, by the looks of it, from the passive, we're not actually taking tons of damage, which is great. I thought that we were gonna take more damage than that. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this champion. How many of you guys actually pulled him, build him? How many of you guys are actually gonna build him after you watch this video? Fahrakin the Fat. I really like the champion. I think he's an amazing addition as an epic. He brings so much stuff to the game. Early game, mid game, even some end game cases. He can be amazing for progression. Appreciate you all guys watching. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe for more content, turn on notifications to see when we upload next, and I'll see you all soon on a different video. Till then, peace out.